Hello, so I'm not going to talk too much because I want to get straight into this. I want to talk about the third pillar of my unique SFD method. So let me just change my screen across and we're going to get stuck straight in. So as it says on this first slide, today you're going to discover the final piece of my three pillar method. Now, most people, most coaching programs don't talk about this stuff. What I'm going to talk about today, you've probably not had anyone go into detail about, and hopefully it's going to open your eyes. It's going to show you how important this is if you actually want to hire, scale, grow a successful business. Whether that's 5K a month, whether it's 10K a month, 15, 20, 30K a month, whatever that financial goal is, what I'm going to talk about today is absolutely vital. It's kind of like the glue that holds everything together. So if you stick around, what you're going to discover on this live this week is, one, the most important thing you need to do if you want to get off the emotional roller coaster. Knowing what I'm going to show you today, being able to successfully implement this is going to help you to manage your emotions. It's going to help you get real clarity and understand like what you need to do day by day, week by week, month by month to hit the goals that you set yourself and you set for your business. It's absolutely necessary, in fact, vital if you want to be able to ever hire anyone. So what I'm going to show you today is going to help you to set up KPIs, going to be able to help you so that when you hire someone, they have clear performance indicators. And the last thing that you're going to discover is how what I'm going to teach today is going to help you set daily, weekly, monthly, and even yearly goals so that you have clarity. It's going to help save energy. It's going to help save time. It's going to have a massive, massive impact on your business. Now, I'm not going to ramble on for too long. And just very quickly, before I get into all of that stuff, I want to show you, first of all, how I'm able to help. So over the last 25 months, so just over 2 years, I've generated nearly $500,000. Okay, so nearly £350,000 in just over 2 years. Now, I'm not showing you this to brag or to show how amazing I am, because actually there's a lot of lessons there. Part of this process over these last 2 years, I actually started face-to-face before that, and I built a small team. I had a small team of coaches, you can see in this picture. And over the last 2 years, I built another small team where I had a media buyer, I had a copywriter, and I had 5 coaches. So a slightly bigger team this time. Now, the reason that I'm telling you all of this and I'm showing you these numbers is actually not to brag. It's not to show off, because actually it's not really that impressive. There's a lot of people out there that are making far more money than me, that are even more successful than me. However, I've learned a lot of lessons. I should have made more money. I should have made more profit. But essentially I've messed up along the way. And I've learned lots of lessons that I'm going to share with you. And this third pillar is one of the fundamentals that none of the coaching programs I've done, and I've spent over 25 grand on coaching programs in the last 2 years, none of them have taught me this stuff. None of them. I've had to learn this myself. I've had to learn from my own mistakes. And I want to save you money. I want to save you energy. I want to help you make more profit. And that's what today's all about. And this is absolutely essential if that's your goals within your business, to make more profit, to actually take more of the money home, to be able to hire successfully, to get people on board that are going to hit performance indicators, get the results you want. Now, as I've already highlighted, the big problem here is no one talks about this. So I did my nutrition course. I did it with the BTM Practical Academy, a year-long program, amazing for coaching, helping me learn how to coach, helping me learn the science behind nutrition. I've done programs. I've done like one-to-one business mentorship, like business mentorship. I've done coaching programs. None of the programs I've done talk about this. What I'm going to talk about today. And no one teaches it unless you've got a degree in business, or unless you're good with accounting or with finances. No one shows you this stuff or talks about this stuff. Or if they do, essentially what they do is they have their 90-day program, and then they're like, oh, by the way, to get the next part, how to hire, how to scale, you're going to have to sign up for 9 to 12 months, and it's going to cost you in the region of £1,000 to £2,000 a month. Like, genuinely speaking, one course recently that I almost signed up to their extension it was a year-long additional program to get all the hiring and the scaling stuff. and it was $24,000. And typically that's the kind of cost you're looking at for some of the information I'm going to give you today. So I want my clients, I want the people to interact with me, I want them to have long-lasting, successful businesses, because this is the stuff that gets the sustainability, that gets you the long-term results. So whether that's hitting 6K a month consistently, or whether it's hitting 60K a month, this stuff is vitally important. So when we come on to the next slide, I'm going to start to talk about that. As I said, I'm not going to talk for too long. I want to get straight to the point. I want to give you a lot of value. So the third pillar is data-driven growth. Data is absolutely vital. Now, I did a presentation to my clients this week, and this was the response. This is exactly what we need. And I was like, look, we're going to get you guys, and we're going to smash the 20K month. So these are new clients that have literally just jumped on board. They kind of get anywhere between 5 to 15K, like up and down, up and down. They just hired a setter, but they're not really clear. They've done program after program and program, and they're not really clear how to set performance indicators for their setter. They're not really clear how to get to that 20K month consistently. So absolutely, we broke this down with them, went through all the numbers, all of the data, and we've made it super clear for them. And they're super clear now that they believe that 20K a month is possible. And then I've done it to my group as well, and they're obviously saying about how it's super helpful, it's making sense. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need to track your daily data. So what data, how do you do it, all of that kind of stuff. Essentially, you need to know the steps within your business that someone takes from like finding you to becoming a client. So what is it that you do that takes them from like first encountering you to becoming a client? And you need to track the numbers, right? You need to track all of those steps every day. So how many people are you speaking to? All right. How many calls are you having? How many of those calls are closed? You need to track all of that data. And this needs to be done on a daily basis. All right. Why do you need to do this? This is so that you can reevaluate your monthly targets. So if you're tracking your daily data, when you get to halfway through the month, you know that your goal for that month is, let's say, 5 grand or 10 grand or 15 grand, whatever it is. You can then see where you're at. You can say, okay, well, my goal is 5 grand this month. I've only made 2 grand. I need to make another 3 grand. You can look at your daily data and you can say, okay, to get 2 grand, I've had to do this. To make another 3 grand for the second half of the month, I need to do this. So it's going to set you, reevaluate your goals so you can get super clear and hit those targets. Using this data, you are then able to set daily, weekly, monthly, and even yearly goals. So let me explain. Let's say you've just completed that month. You've hit your 5K. You've got all your data of everything that's happened. At the end of the month, you can then say, right, my goal this month is to hit 6K. Now, what do I need to do over the month to hit 6K, to hit that number? Now I can break that down into what do I need to do every week? I can break that down again. What do I need to do every day? And then when you hire new staff, you already know your numbers. You already know it takes X to achieve Y. So let's say you're hiring a setter. So if you don't know what a setter is, that's someone who does all your messaging. They prospect people, they message them, they book them in calls. If you know your numbers, you can then say to the person you're hiring, right, here's the expectations, here's the numbers you need to hit. And then it's really, really clear. They hit the goals, the business is successful, they get paid really, really well for it. Awesome. But it also, if you're tracking your data, you can also start to see where your strengths and weaknesses lie, especially if you know industry benchmarks. So you can start to say, okay, well, I'm really, really good at getting people booked onto a call, but actually I'm not very good at closing people on that call. And I've got numbers to prove it. So then where do I need to spend my time and energy? I need to spend my time and energy improving my consultation process. And that's it. You can then go and invest that time and energy into yourself. And literally tracking these numbers each day should take you about 5 minutes. Literally, it should take 5 minutes a day. Now, based on everything I've just shown you, is that worth 5 minutes effort? Now, the second thing, now obviously tracking your daily numbers is great, but you need to also know your finances. And this was one thing I went through with my private clients this week was, okay, your goal for your take home is, let's say, $3,000. So you need to know what your monthly take home goal is. All right, you might have a goal of 15 grand, but that's not going to be your take home. Unless, if that is your take home goal, then that's going to change the goal that you aim for within your business. So with this, you need to know what it is you actually want to take home. You need to know what percentage has to be put aside for taxes, so that when your year end comes, you're not in the shit. And you need to know your fixed costs. So a fixed cost is something that comes out every single month consistently and doesn't really change. So you need to know these, and then you need to know any other expenditure. So if you're using ads, how much you need to spend on ads. If you've got staff, if you pay so talk about that setter example, you might be paying them on commission. You need to know all of these numbers, so then you can work out, okay, well, here's my take home. Okay, on top of my take home, this is how much tax would be paid. On top of that is my fixed costs, and on top of that is XYZ as well. So that means if I add them all together, this is how much money I need to make this month. And then if we've been tracking our daily data, I can then go, okay, I need to make this much a month to take this much home, and this is what I need to do on a monthly, weekly, daily basis. All right, so we reverse engineer everything to help us set goals. Without having this level of clarity, okay, you're going to be guessing. You're going to be throwing shit against the wall. You're going to be hoping that you hit your goals. You're going to have that roller coaster of emotions. You're also going to have a roller coaster in terms of your income, in terms of your business. This stuff is absolutely vital to have a consistent and predictable business. Okay, and then you're able to know when you can hire. When you know all of these numbers, you'll know, okay, before I can hire a copywriter, before I can hire a media buyer, so an ad agency to run my ads, before I can hire XYZ, a coach, I need to be making this much within my business consistently, so that I know that I've got revenue there to pay them every month, but also I still get to take home enough money to live off. All right, but you don't know that without doing all of these things that I've talked about already. So hopefully you're seeing now how this is probably just as important as everything else, because it's all well and good if you've got amazing content, strategic content. And by the way, if you haven't seen Pillar 1, go watch that. It's in the group, in the guide section. It's all well and good having strategic content that handles objections, that pre-sells your prospects, shows how you're different, that gets them raising their hands. And it's all well and good then having that sales system in place, like my FEC sales system, that takes people from raising their hands, becoming a client. But actually, if you're not managing your numbers and your money, it doesn't matter, because you're not going to keep your profit. You're not going to be able to hit the goals that you want. Now, there is actually a fourth pillar that I'm recently going to introduce. And this fourth pillar is probably one of the biggest reasons that most people don't hit 5K a month, don't hit 10K a month, don't scale to 15, 20K a month. So make sure you stick around next week and come and watch next week, because that's what we're going to go into in a load of depth next week. I think that's pretty much it. If you've got questions, obviously this hasn't been shown live today, so if you've got questions, send me a private message. Feel free to get in contact, and I'll do whatever I can to try and help. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've got a lot of value from it. If you're watching this on the ClickFunnels page and you're interested in having a chat with me to see if I can give you some advice, guidance, some insight, or even potentially you're interested in me helping you to implement all of this stuff so that you can get to your goal much, much faster, there should be a link below this video. Click on the link, book in a call time. We can have a chat and see if we can help you going forwards.